I'm Brad Cooper and welcome to another edition of Choice Cuts. Beef's best and brightest will be in Canberra next Wednesday night for the announcement of Cattle Council of Australia's Rising Champion for 2012. 7 young beef industry representatives from throughout the country will travel to the national capital for their chance at the title. The hopefuls are Frank Archer from Tasmania, Steph Coombs and Chrissy Riley from Western Australia, Sasha Lanyon from South Australia, Geordie Elliott from Victoria, and Queenslanders Steve Pocock and John Atkinson. It will be interesting to see what role last year's winner Ian McConnell will play in the event, who left his post as a beef extension officer earlier this year to join the controversial environment group WWF. The extremist organisation continues to undermine beef producers with its dodgy climate change science and distortions over the impact farmers are having on the environment. One person who may not be at the Rising Champions dinner is Cattle Council CEO David Inall, who is preparing to quit and take up a position overseas, sources have leaked to Fairfax Media. Mr Inall's anticipated exit comes at a crucial time for the embattled Cattle Council, with the producer-funded organisation in the stages of overhauling its structure. The organisation has been open about its money woes and its need for more directly elected board members to improve representation at a national level. Mr Inall has also come under pressure this year for his organisation's continued links with the extreme environmental activist group, the World Wildlife Fund, an arrangement that could see costly certification schemes imposed on beef producers. Australian Lot Feeders Association is celebrating after the industry's National Feedlot Accreditation Scheme, otherwise known as NFAS, became the first to be recognised under Queensland's environmental regulations. Alpha is now calling upon all state governments to formally recognise quality assurance programs. Alpha President Don Mackay says the regulatory amendments to recognise NFAS mark not only the end of an arduous 4-year process, but an important acknowledgement of the environmental credentials of the program and industry. He says accredited lot feeders will receive a 20% discount on environmental licence fees, while government will save on auditing costs. And did you know that every dollar spent at retail on beef in Australia in 2012, an estimated 36.6% went back to the producer? MLA boss Scott Hansen revealed this at last week's AGM in Fremantle, indicating MLA will release annual tracking of the producer's share of the retail beef dollar from now on. The last time MLA hosted an AGM in WA in 2003, that figure was 30.4%. Cattle prices in 2003 averaged 349 cents a kilo in today's dollars, while last year they averaged 389 cents. So while cattle prices in real terms have flatlined, on the domestic market the consumer is paying more and buying more for beef, up 1% in volume in the last 11 years and up 16% or $850 million in consumer expenditure. Young beef producers met out in Roma last week for the appropriately named Young Beef Producers Forum, and there they were given a very informative and instructional presentation from Meat Standards Australia's Kelly Payne, who did a slightly different take on 50 Shades of Red. Melody Pedler has the report.
The 50 Shades of Red presentation attracted plenty of interest from producers at YBPF. Kelly Payne, who helped implement MLA's Meat Standards Australia scheme, used a taste test and a meat cutting demonstration to show how carcasses can be more effectively utilised. He used different seam cutting techniques to separate the whole rump and oyster blade into muscle groups and created cuts similar to tenderloins and mignons.
Yeah, what we've been trying to explain to producers today is that there is a huge variation in eating quality right across the beef carcass. But one of our jobs is to introduce all of those different individual eating qualities to retail butchery and restaurants and independent supermarkets, so that we can get the best eating quality experience for consumers based on the cut by cook method that MSA utilises as part of the eating quality prediction model.